Today I'm starting something a little different, a video that will stretch across 2 days, Israel's Memorial Day and Independence Day. These are two of the most important days on the Israeli calendar, and they come one right after the other. If you want to truly understand Israel and the Israeli identity, the emotions, the complexity, the story, you need to understand these 2 days. This is actually the first time I'm making a video that unfolds over 2 days, and the topic I will touch on will move from national to personal, so we will see how this goes together. Right now I'm on my way to the ceremony that opens Memorial Day, where we commemorate and honor Israel's fallen soldiers. I live in a kibbutz, and here the community organizes everything, the preparation and the ceremony itself. In big cities, of course, it's very different, more formal, more organized by institutions. I should also say that the preparation themselves are part of the experience. Just 6 days ago, we marked Holocaust Remembrance Day. So this whole week feels very special, very emotionally charged. Officially, Memorial Day is tomorrow, but in Judaism, the day begins at sunset, just like how Shabbat starts on Friday evening. So tonight at 8 p.m., there will be a 1-minute siren across the country, signaling a moment of silence, and then the open ceremony begins. In Israel, the sound of the siren is always announced in advance so that people don't panic and think it is a missile warning and rush to shelters. And actually, the sirens is about to start now. After the siren, the ceremony begins with the Izukor prayer. The prayer call on the people of Israel to remember those who fell defending the country. It doesn't feel right to interrupt the prayer in the middle, but I will show you just a small part.
יזכור עם ישראל את בניו ובנותיו הנאמנים והאמיצים, חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל.
During the ceremony, a few people come up to sing and others come to share stories about soldiers they knew and never came back.
כשהילדים נומים, זה לא תמיד כשהם רוצים לישון, הם לא רוצים לדעת, כשהאצבעות עוברות בתוך שערותייך הרכות, הן רק רוצות לגעת.
רועי התגייס לצה"ל ושירת כלוחם, ובהמשך כמפקד כיתה בחטיבת גבעתי, גדוד צבר.
אני שלכל אחד יש את האיש ההוא שלו. כשאני שר את השיר הזה, האיש ההוא שלי זה לירן אלמוסלינו, חבר יקר מפתחת ניצנה.
The ceremony is always sad and moving, but in a year like this, during time of war, it feels even more powerful.
איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש?
So that's the ceremony on the eve of Memorial Day. The main ceremonies will take place tomorrow at 11 in the military cemeteries.
איפה ישנם עוד אנשים כמו האיש ההוא אשר היה
On the radio, you will hear quiet, sad songs. In Israel, there is even a genre known as Memorial Day songs, songs written in memory of the fallen. In the past, I used to give talks about the stories behind some of these songs. The most played song on Memorial Day, year after year, is Ma'avarech, meaning, what shall I bless him with? It was written by Rachel Shapira in memory of her classmate Eldad Teddy Kruk from Kibbutz Shfaim, who was killed during the Six-Day War in 1967. 20 years ago, I traveled to Kibbutz Shfaim and met Eldad's mother. She gave me a memorial book that the kibbutz had published a year after his death. The song tells the story of a child blessed with a smile like a light, big eyes that could see every flower, every living thing, every bird, and feet made for dancing. Now the child is an angel. He will not longer be blessed. The song asks, God, why didn't you bless him with life? I think that the fact that this is the most played song on Memorial Day says something profound about Israeli society. Eldad Kruk fell in the battle for the liberation of Jerusalem during the Six-Day War. The Six-Day War was one of the greatest military victories since World War II. Arab states threatened to destroy Israel, and within 6 days, Israel defeated their armies, tripled its territory, and liberated the holy places that had been inaccessible for Jews for 19 years. And yet, despite this incredible victory, the most iconic song that came out of the war is about a child who God did not bless him with life. And that's what we mourn on Memorial Day. The soldiers who fell, the lives that were cut short. Almost everyone in Israel knows someone who fell in battle. Ever since I was a kid, my father would take me to visit the grave of his uncle, who fell during Israel's War of Independence in 1948. The cemeteries are filled with relatives and loved ones of the fallen. But near the grave of my grandfather's brother, there is a grave that no one visits. It is the grave of Eliezer Feig. He and about 200 others are classified as Netzer Acharon, the last descendants of the families. These were people whose entire families were murdered in the Holocaust. They came to Israel and fell fighting for its independence. Eliezer Feig was born in Romania. He was an only child. During World War II, his parents were murdered by the Germans. Eliezer survived Auschwitz and Dachau. He made Aliyah, he immigrated to Israel in 1944 and fell during the War of Independence. To make sure no grave stands alone, the army sends soldiers to stand beside every single grave. At 11, a 2-minute siren will sound across the country. And then the ceremony will begin. The ceremony is short and formal. It includes the Zkor prayer and El Maleh Rachamim, the Jewish prayer you are hearing now. It is a prayer for the soul of a person who has died. After that, there's a brief speech by a politician, and the ceremony ends with a singing of Hatikva, Israel's national anthem. After the ceremony, the family gathers at my grandfather's house. For the past 2 years, he hasn't been able to come to the cemetery anymore. He's 97, and it is just too hard for him to walk. After the family gathering, I meet up with Rakefet, my best friend. I wasn't sure if I should include this part in the video, but in the end I felt it belonged. It has been part of my routine for years. We've been friends since we were 3 years old, since kindergarten, and now we're 43. That's 40 years of friendship. And also because while Jewish holidays like Passover and Rosh Hashanah are celebrated with family, Memorial Day and Independence Day are different. A lot of Israelis use these 2 days to return to where they grew up. Israel is tiny, about the size of New Jersey. So most people don't live more than an hour or two from where they grew up. And many use these days to take part in the ceremonies they are familiar with the communities they grew up in, or to have a barbecue with old friends on Independence Day. This year, the weather is really unpleasant. It is hot, the winds are strong, and massive wildfires have started. I just got home. The weather is still rough. It is extremely hot with strong winds and a heavy haze in the air. It's never been like this before. It is often hot on Memorial Day, but this is something else. It's really extreme. Anyway, I'm home now. In a few hours, the Independence Day celebration will begin. In many towns across Israel, the events have been cancelled because of the weather. And I assume here too, things will be scaled down. In Israel, and honestly around the world, there are people who can stay awake all day long. I'm not one of them. I need my afternoon nap. I need my Schlafstunde, as they call it. So I'm going to lie down for a bit and then I will continue with Independence Day. Hopefully the wind will come down a little by then. Well, Independence Day Eve was cancelled because of the weather. That's never happened before. Maybe it is not such a bad thing. There are major wildfires and, well, there is also a war. Since I've been planning to make this video for years, I actually have footage from previous Independence Days. The ceremonies are usually pretty similar. There are songs and there is folk dancing. Of course, there are different levels of dancers. Some people dance regularly and know what they are doing. But on Independence Day, anyone who wants to dance just joins in. It's not super professional, but it is a lot of fun. And that's what matters. The one thing that really has changed in Israel in recent years is the fireworks. In the past, fireworks were how Independence Day celebration began, all over the country. That's what kicked off the night. But in recent years, fireworks have almost disappeared. The explosions remind people of war, and they trigger PTSD in combat veterans. To be honest, I really miss them. I love fireworks, they are such a good child memory for me. Today, on Independence Day itself, the weather is actually great. There are bouncy castles and games for kids on the big lawn. At noon, there is a big barbecue. And like anywhere with Argentinians, the meat is taken very seriously. Because last night's celebration was cancelled, some of the events have been pushed to today. I think that on Independence Day, a lot of Israelis take a moment to stop and appreciate what they have. As a tour guide who visits national sites like the Western Wall, Temple Mount, Masada, and Independence Hall every week, and as someone who makes videos about Israel, reflecting on all this is part of the job. It's good to appreciate what you have, but celebrating what you have with neighbors, friends, and family, that's even better. And for me, that's the real joy of the day. I truly hope I managed to share a bit of the unique atmosphere of Memorial Day and Independence Day in Israel. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave a comment. I'm sure the Israelis watching will have something to say. It's not easy trying to look at your own culture from the outside, and I probably left out a lot of important aspects. See you next week. Yalla bye.